Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Cancer. Whoa, in mid-November 2019. Cancer, welcome. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. 2 flip outs here on top of your spread. 5 of Pentacles and the Death card. Some of you might be dealing with almost to the Cancer. Scorpio, but you don't have to be. And 5 of Pentacles. Maybe something is disappointing right now dealing with this person, whether they are Scorpio or not. It feels like, though, maybe there's been a lack of communication right now. There could be a lack of contact. It could be, I see like a family situation going on there in the 5 of Pentacles, and this Death card is kind of this loner figure. So over the holidays, maybe you or whoever you're dealing with feels very alone, even though they're surrounded by friends and family. It feels like a very isolated energy. Now, I'm not going to talk about those because that wasn't a real shuffle. I just couldn't catch them. And where did that go? There it is. So I'm not going to talk about those ones that just fell out. But that 5 of Pentacles and that Death card, it really feels like, melancholy energy right now surrounding either a family situation or a place of safe haven, So someone just doesn't feel at home. Someone feels ostracized and kind of left out on their own. Okay. All right, Cancer. Shuffled up. Well, before any of that, hi. How are you? Are you good? I'm good. Guys, year's almost over. How about it? I'm excited. I just told Pisces I will be planning a New Year's party for my friends and family. I'm very excited to be doing that. I'm not great at those things, but I'm going to give it a go. And hopefully it goes off without a hitch. Wish me luck. Anyway, and of course, happy Thanksgiving if you will be celebrating here in a couple of weeks up in the States or wherever you all are in the world. I hope you have a fabulous Turkey Day if you are celebrating. And of course, eat as much as you can. I always advise that. I don't think it's healthy, but that's what we're supposed to do. Isn't that who goes to Thanksgiving and just eats one plate of food? Who does that? Anybody? Anybody? Anyway, Cancer, I've shuffled off camera. That is your main spread there. I will shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that is when the reading begins. The timestamp will be in the description box below if you choose to jump ahead. Also down there is the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. You can simply tell me what you want. I say okay, you pay me the money, I send you the recording, and everybody is a happy camper. But if you have any other clarifying questions or curiosities before you place an order, feel free to email me at the same address and I'll answer you as soon as I can, all right? Anything else? Oh, yeah. And speaking again of Thanksgiving, I will go live here on the channel on the 25th of November. That's the Monday of Thanksgiving Day, or Thanksgiving week. I haven't decided the actual time, so I'll let you guys know as it comes closer through the community tab. So be on the lookout for that. And if you're available, Cancer, and you have a question, you feel free to stop on by the channel, okay? And I'll answer you as soon as, well, not as soon as I can, if I can get around to you guys, okay? All right. That is officially all the announcements. Let's get into it. I want to see the outcome for Cancer in mid-November 2019. Please show me Cancer's mid-November outcome, please. Mid-November outcome for Cancer. Please show me. All right, then. Very different than how it was with your main spread. All those cards came out so fast. There was no hesitation with those cards. So now here we are with the outcome, Cancer. And cat's got your tongue. Maybe. There. No, we're not getting to. I'm going to take that one that's on the table. However, please note that the star also came out and flipped. But we're not going to take that because it didn't make it to the table. So, no. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy, Cancer. That's crooked and it's going to bother me. There we go. And that means you're crooked. You're all crooked. There we go. That looks better. Yes. Flip the one that came face down. Ooh. All right, so let's figure out what's going on here. Please show me where Cancer is. Come on. There we go. Please show me where Cancer is in mid-November 2019. Where is Cancer in mid-November 2019? Please show me. Okay. That was like, it was like successive, like boom, boom, boom. It's this, it's this. All right. So Cancer, coming into mid-November, you come in with the Tower card in reverse. Show you this card upright so you can get a better look at it. Some of you, you know what this energy is. Like, you're familiar with tarot, so you're kind of like, freaking out. I don't know that you need to freak out. Not just because it's in the reverse, but it kind of feels like if this is the exact Tower moment that you were worried about or thinking was going to happen, that forethought, that knowing is lessening the blow. It feels like you're very prepared for whatever destabilized energy or event this is in your life. I think that you're very either used to it, or again, you could just see this coming a mile away. It's like you're not surprised. It could be that it's in the reverse because you're witnessing this happen to other people or one particular person. Take your pick. It doesn't really matter in a general. But it feels like Cancer, because you've either prepared yourself, you saw it coming, you had a hunch that something could go wrong, and now you have taken precautions, right? Or you're watching something really crumble down and be really unfortunate in someone else's life, and you're kind of like, you know, it's like, and this is just a joke, or just a way to visualize it. But you ever like watch like, you know, like terrible accident videos here on YouTube, like, you know, no offense to any males in the audience who might be watching, but you ever like watch like skateboarding videos or like people doing parkour and like they jump and like a guy lands like on a rail with his nuts? Like, I don't have nuts, but I bet that hurts. You know, it's kind of like that. Like, you're standing by and you're cringing because you're seeing somebody else like go through something really terrible. You're like, oh, that probably really, that really stung, didn't it? It really stung, right? So that's why I'm not super worried about this being your starting energy, because I think, again, you're either super prepared or you're just watching someone else. And the manner in which you're watching someone else, for those where you're kind of, you know, secondary or tertiary from this energy, you're removed from the actual impact of the Tower moment. I think some of you are watching with sympathy or empathy. Others of you, a few of you, you're watching with glee. You're like, serves you right. A few of you are doing that. But I think the bulk of you are just like, oh man, that sucks. Sorry that happened to you. Are you okay? Like, you feel bad that they have to go through this, but that's the other thing. You understand this person has to go through it. Much like how I was just talking about, like, you know, people, you know, doing parkour or whatever and getting hurt. It's like, if you go leaping off of a tall building, or if you're a skateboarder or whatever you do, and you throw yourself off of a ramp, hoping to land on 4 little plastic wheels, there's always a chance you're not going to stick that landing and you're going to get hurt. So for those where you're watching someone and you're sympathizing, it's just like, you know, you play with fire, you get burned. I feel sorry for you, but you knew that, didn't you? It's kind of like you're standing there like, but you knew, didn't you? You knew the risks. And you're not like blaming the person per se. In a few of your cases, you're like, haha, I told you. Or in some of your cases, you're like, ha ha ha, I'm so happy that you're in a terrible situation. And you're very excited that this person is in pain. But that's for like a very few of these Cancers. I think some of you are witnessing someone that you really like, a friend, a family member, a coworker. I'm not sensing you're watching, if you're in a relationship, you're watching your partner go through something. It could be a few of you. Okay, that's why I'm like, who's this partner? Why is this coming through? In some of your cases, maybe you're watching an ex go through something, and that could be for the people who are like, because a lot of us have, not me, but a lot of us have bitter energy towards our exes. And so if they fall or they fail or they bust their nuts on a railing, you're like, yes, excellent. You're very pleased because you have that contentious energy with that person. that applies for some of you in that more low vibe spectrum, right? That lower end of the spectrum, yeah? But for the most part, if it is your ex, I'm sensing people who are friends with their exes. You're very copacetic. You're very amicable with your ex. You're very civil. You don't wish them ill will, but you're watching them go through something, and a little bit of your heart is like pulled at, like, oh no, oh, well, I'm sorry. And, you know, it could be instinctually you want to run to that person, scoop them up in your arms, or be like, it's going to be okay, babe. But it's like, oh, we broke up a long time ago. And you just like end up like sending them like a really sad emoji or something. Like your boyfriend or girlfriend instincts kick in and you're like, oh, I want to help you. But, oh, we're not, okay, we're just friends, right? Okay, so sorry this happened to you. You know, if you need anything, call me. It's like one of those moments, yeah? Now, and that's the thing, you knew, it's right there, you knew. Oh, you knew. Why are they, because they're like, you knew. Oh. It doesn't bring you pleasure, even though I think that's what some of you might see here. I don't think it brings you pleasure. I think some of you are just satisfied in like, oh, I called that. Like you're proud of yourself, like you're patting yourself on the back here with the High Priestess right above you. Secondary major arcana for you, Cancer. So this is your secondary major arcana as it's ruled by the moon. So a lot of you have had an instinctual hunch about whatever is taking place with that Tower moment. The Tower moment also, for those who might be a little unfamiliar with tarot or unfamiliar with my interpretations, the Tower is not always as bombastic and terrifying as it looks there, like a lightning strike that rips through, you know, a building. It doesn't have to be so destructive. The Tower moment can be quiet as a breeze, as gentle as a feather floating down onto Forrest Gump's knee or some shit like that. It does not have to be this monumental and chaotic moment. Tower moments can be subtle. Tower moments can seem pleasant at first. And that again is like based on who is experiencing it, right? So for an example, and this is just an example to illustrate it, and I'm rubbing my eye because like I think I have an eyelash in my eye. Anyway, a Tower moment can be a drunken kiss. Well, and why you're like, oh, drunken kiss, that could work. Can be pleasant, right? So, you know, we've all had flirty drunken kisses, right? Or many of us have had, right? That sounds great unless one of the people who are married one of the people we're talking about are married or both are married, you know? So that's like when an act that is seemingly pleasurable, seemingly innocent, seemingly inconsequential. It's not sleeping together. It's not an illicit affair that goes on for 15 years. It's a mwah, like something like that. That can be a Tower moment. So that's what I wanted to clarify that. Now, regardless of what the Tower moment is or when it is and how it hits and who it affects, you kind of already knew. You may have been asking yourself, is this a situation? Is this a relationship? Is this a place that I want to actually spend my time? Are these people I want to spend my time with? And something told you, you know what, Cancer? You should just step away. Or Cancer, give it time. It'll be revealed to you what you should do with this person or what you should expect from the situation. So you're kind of like I feel like someone just shrugs their shoulders and is like, okay, I guess I'll just wait. Or, okay, I guess I won't go. Or, okay, I guess I won't go on a second date with this guy. Something like that. Even though maybe you really enjoyed the first date. He seemed like a nice guy. You know, you guys got along and all this other kind of stuff. And then, you know, something inside you says, just like friend zone this guy. Or let's just keep it the way it is. Let's not push for a relationship. And then you come to find out, oh, you're married and you have 4 kids. That's why I didn't want to go on a second date with you. That's why my intuition said, leave it alone. And now you are watching like his whole life blow up somewhere else because he wasn't, you weren't the only other person he was like giving attention to outside of his marriage. Something like that. So it's like dodged a bullet energy with this High Priestess energy in many of your cases. In other cases, you just knew, like maybe in the example with the ex, or even a family member or a friend who's very dear to you. Like you may have advised them to do something or to not do something, and they persisted and they didn't take your advice. And you supported them, or you were just like, okay, I mean, it's your life. You can do what you want. I'm here for you regardless. But then something in the back of your mind was just like, I don't think this person should do this. Or I wish he wouldn't, it could be something as simple as, deciding to travel by train instead of bus to go somewhere. To go for an interview, something like that. I don't know that you should take the train, if you live in a place like Chicago, where at this time of year, I would assume traveling on the L's out there. I don't live in Chicago. This is just an assumption. I live in a city with an L train as well, so I kind of get it. Like, inclement weather makes it more difficult sometimes, or it can really screw up a train schedule if the weather is inclement, right? So you're like, the weather's calling for snow, or it's calling for this or that. I think you should just take the bus. I think you're going to make it. And the person's like, but the bus, I have to transfer, and then I have to walk, 15 blocks. Forget it. I'm just going to take the train. They take the train. There's a problem with the train. They miss the interview. They don't get the job. You knew. That could have been your child. That could be your best friend. So like, asked you, well, the interview's at 8. The train doesn't leave until like 7, but I think I'm going to take the train. And you're like, if you just take the bus, you just have to leave like 30 minutes earlier and you'll still get there, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, I don't want to get up that early, blah, 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 blah. And they made their own decision. So you're watching someone else make their own decision, or go through their life, go through their trials and tribulations, go through their daily routines, whatever. And something in you, Cancer, was just like, that's not a good idea. Or something is going to happen there that is not going to feel right for that person. Nuts to rail. And all you can do is sit there and grimace like, oh, are you okay? Can I get you a bag of peas for your crushed peas? Okay. It's that. So I think you're protected. 4 of Pentacles. So the High Priestess gave you the hunch, and here's what happens in the reality. You kind of stay to yourself. Now, 4 of Pentacles traditionally is always talking, not always, but traditionally is often talking about being guarded financially, guarded with your possessions. It could be that. It could even go back to the interview. Someone asked you, hey, could you give me a ride somewhere? And it's like, no, I'm going to be busy that day. Like, something in you just says, as much as you adore this friend or your neighbor or whoever, and they ask you for a favor, and you're kind of like, you guard yourself, hold back with your 4 of Pentacles. You hold yourself back from giving to a person. And you might feel like a dick in the moment, or you might feel like, oh man, they really needed me. Shouldn't I have helped them? Come to find out, like, not even give them a ride. And this obviously has happened in somebody's life. Not mine, because I would never. But I've heard many a story where someone will loan their car to a friend, and then you get your car back and it's in shambles. Or you get your car back and the next day the check engine light pops on. You're like, what happened to my car? They give you the car back. They don't put gas in the car. And whatever. So you had an opportunity to give to a situation. You had an opportunity to give someone a favor, give someone money, give someone your time, give someone your effort. Giving someone your opinion and your advice, I think that you gave that freely. But as far as like actually giving something of value to them, of tangible value to them, you withheld yourself. By withholding yourself, you, again, dodged a bullet. You sidestepped a potential mishap. You sidestepped some type of tower moment that has primarily affected someone else. Cancer, I had a really good time with you on our date. Do you want to go out again next Friday? Something in you said no. As much as I enjoyed our date and our conversation, as much as I would like to get to know you more, something about next Friday. Maybe not next Friday, maybe the following Friday. Maybe you just did that. I can't go out with you this Friday. I'll go out with you the next Friday. And between now and then, you find out about that wife and the 4 kids. And you're like, oh! God was on my side. Spirit was on my side. Whatever you believe in or don't believe in. So, withholding recently or right now is in your best interest. You good? You good? And I'm not feeling strongly the financial aspect of it, but I finally looked down at, not finally, but I looked down at this card, and the glimmering gold of those pentacles really stuck out to me, like how shiny and bright and, attractive these things look. So in terms of money, for sure, do not. Somebody asks you for a loan, sorry man, I ain't got it. I do not got it. I don't got it. I do not got it. No, that's a double negative, so that would mean that you do have it. My bad. But you see what I mean? It's just like, you can make your own decisions, of course. But it feels like withholding. Also with the High Priestess, she doesn't talk that much. So if you are giving someone your advice, or you have given someone your advice and they come to you again, be like, no, I think you should decide. This standing back and letting other people do what they have to do, say what they have to say, and not really getting involved feels like the best move for you. The best move for you. So the High Priestess is not overly expressive. She says something maybe once or twice, and that's it. Twice is like the stretch, So if you're used to being that person or that friend that is always giving advice, always the one that someone calls with their dilemmas, and like you look at your phone, ring, ring, it's like your phone goes off and you're like, oh my God, it's Kathy. What does she want? And you go to answer it. No offense to Kathy. Sorry, Kathy. Don't answer that phone. Maybe this one time. Just don't answer the phone. Let her decide. Let her make up her own mind. Let her, God forbid anything terrible happen to your friend. I don't think it would be, life-changing or incredibly detrimental. But there's something about where you might normally overextend yourself and give yourself freely to a person or freely to just about anybody in your life. Pull back a little bit. Okay? Somehow, this all ends up with you getting the 9 of Cups. Now, for that group where you're laughing your head off, you're laughing your ass off, that somebody is in misery, that kind of makes sense. If that's how you get your jollies, go ahead and do that. I don't know if that's good karma. I don't know if that's good juju, but you do you. Now, in other cases where it's not about you're happy at somebody else's detriment or somebody else's misfortunes, right? I just feel that even for some of you, this could be a spiritual happiness, or rather, this could be you being pleased with your spiritual confirmations. Because this High Priestess, to me, in some of your cases, not all of your cases, is really the first time you listen to your gut, you listen to your intuition. Maybe some of you prayed on it. Maybe some of you were working with tarot yourself. Maybe some of you are practitioners, or you're getting into tarot, or you're getting into opening up your clairs, and you were just walking down the street and everything you saw was giving you a stop. So you saw a stop sign, you saw red lights, you saw kids running in the street, and then one gets yanked back from running in the street, something like that. You saw a lot of symbolism that told you to stop, withhold, go back, right? And then you listen to that. This is just an example, by the way, okay? You finally didn't take it as, serendipity or some type of coincidence. You finally were like, I wonder if God, Spirit, the universe, my angels, whatever you believe in or don't believe in, I wonder if that is a message for me. So you're like, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this clairvoyancy stuff. I'm going to try this intuition stuff. I'm going to listen to these warnings. I'm going to heed these warnings. I'm going to take these signs and symbols, and I'm not going to engage in this. And you withhold. And now you see. You dodged a bullet by holding back, which was laid upon you or delivered to you through your intuition. Happy days, 9 of Cups. So you're recognizing, in a few of your cases, this is not for everybody, you're recognizing your connection with the divine. You're recognizing your connection with God. Again, whatever you believe in and don't believe in, because we all believe in different things. So you're just like, oh man, I got a line. I got a direct line between me and this higher power, or me and whatever. Yeah? Pleasure. Not pleasure. Pleased. You're pleased with yourself. You're pleased with trusting that experience. Some of you have never trusted it before. Some of you have ignored it. Others of you, it's like the first time and it's like like a home run. Like, oh wow, this really works. Like it's something, the spiritual thing seems to be a pivotal revelation for some of you. In other cases, I think your happiness is, again, you either dodged the bullet because you sidestepped somebody else's mishap, or you were out of the line of fire of some really, heinous or disturbing fallout from another situation, or you have gotten in touch with your spiritual side and you feel vindicated, you feel validated in that way. Or I think that some of you, you're not happy that the tower moment happened. What you're happy about is that the tower moment wasn't as massive as it could have been. This is a third possibility, okay? Where, like I told you, sometimes the tower moment isn't a huge impact. Sometimes it's a very small moment or a small exchange. It doesn't have to be this very loud and destructive force or event. It can be very subtle, yeah? And I think some of you are really happy that if you are witnessing someone else go through a misfortune, it's not as bad as it could have been, essentially. So that person who didn't make the interview because the train was shut down because of bad weather, right? You're happy that, the train didn't freaking like derail or something like that. Like, small blessings is how this is coming across. Small blessings. Like, you're grateful that things are not as bad as they could have been. Yeah? Outcome, Cancer, for mid-November is the Lover's card. Major Arcana for Gemini. So you might be dealing with a Gemini, but you don't have to be. Now, in some of your cases, you're thinking, oh, this is a romantic thing and blah, 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 soulmates. And, not to demean you, if you're in a soulmate connection, I don't want to take it away from you. So some of you realize that. But this hasn't been a romantic reading for the most part. So what I'm really feeling is this is a realization that what you have with someone, and it feels more friendship and family than it does dating partnerships. But if it is romantic or dating, you understand it. I feel that the bond is not broken. If they've suffered a loss or they're, again, nuts to rail, if they're in pain, if they're suffering, it doesn't cause you guys to have a rift. That's what this feels like. If this is about you sidestepping that mishap, you missed the guy who had 4 kids and a wife, like, oh, Mr. Polygamist, trying to rope me into your drama. If you've sidestepped that, this would be upcoming for you in some form or fashion. Some type of healthy partnership. It feels like it's very enlightening, because the Lovers is also, in the traditional artwork especially, it's a very spiritual card. I mean, you see it a little bit where you've got this, celestial body, what looks like the sun above both of them, and it's, sparkling and shining. And so it's kind of like they're blessed, right? It's kind of like the heavens are looking down on this couple and they're like, we approve, right? In the traditional artwork, it's Archangel Gab, I can't even talk about Gabriel, I think. And he is kind of blessing the union. So something is upcoming for those where you thought Mr. Nice Date was going to be the one or going to be the next one. And it's like, no, the next one is like on the next bus, basically, right? And if it's not about any particular partnerships, if you're solo, dolo, single, pringle, for you, Cancer, I think this is... Oh, that's very interesting. That might be applicable to those who, whether you're solo or not, that could be applicable to those of you where, again, you're having this spiritual sort of awakening or this revelation in your own ability within the spiritual realm, within the esoteric world, right? So if this is the first time you've experienced a clairvoyant or a clairaudient experience and you heeded those words or you heeded those warning signs and you feel validated by the experience, this is you feeling like, ooh, look at me. I'm a special person, and we're all special in our own ways. We all have the capacity to connect if we choose, but many, if not most of us, choose not to connect. So if you, and that's the thing, you know, the Lovers is about choice. In this particular case, with those where this is a spiritual thing, you are choosing to connect with the spiritual world, with God, with your angels, with your higher self, whatever you conceptualize about whatever is out there or not. This is you deciding to do that. Yeah. I'm going to make a significant connection with my guides, with the divine, and I'm going to explore this. So this could be a choice of self-love and self-connection. Something like that, okay? Overall energy. Oh, look at how, like, oily my hand is. Ugh. Gotta go wash my hands. I'm looking down at the card and, like, my fingerprints are all smudged on that card now. Anyway, your overall energy is the Knight of Swords. I'm making such a big deal out of it. Knight of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You don't have to be dealing with an air sign, but it's just to illustrate it for you. So, this is kind of interesting. Because I don't feel you're doing much movement. And the Knights all move. So this could be someone that you're dealing with. This could be someone who's fast acting. This could be why someone else has experienced the Tower moment, because they were too fast out here in these streets, okay? Or they were too fast to make a decision. They were too impulsive with something. It could be that. If it's not about how someone else has been behaving or the speed with which someone was making decisions, this would be you kind of riding on the momentum of this moment. This moment of, I dodged a bullet, this moment of, oh my God, I'm having a spiritual awakening or realization, or realizing that, you know, yeah, it feels like being proud that you're still standing, even though, again, I don't think you were in the direct line of fire of the Tower moment to begin with. So, yes, thank you. Okay, that's how I'm supposed to say it. Got it. Again, you dodged a bullet, so some of you are, like, really, like, hightailing it out of there, you know? Maybe some of you are, like, quitting dating apps. Like, everybody I meet on there is there for it's hookup culture on dating apps for the most part, and that's not really your bag, so you're leaving that situation, right? It's something like that where you're having the scruples, you have the smarts to leave well enough alone, basically, whether that be with a specific person or a certain aspect of our society, an aspect of our culture, or just a certain dynamic or situation where other people have tried to rope you in or tried to rely on you, and you're just like, you know what? I'm done giving free advice, guys, and I'm just like not gonna give into that behavior anymore, because the Knight makes very quick decisions, or the Knight of Swords makes very quick decisions, but he also can make very decisive decisions as well, because he trusts his rationale. He trusts his logical self. He's like, I don't need to sit here and agonize over the details. What are the facts and the figures? These are the facts and the figures. Okay, I'm not going to do this anymore, or I'm not going to talk to that person in this way anymore, blah, 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 blah. And he's very resolute in his decision making, okay? All right, Cancer, that is your reading for mid-November. If you liked it, like button is down below. Make sure that you hit that before you leave me. You can also leave a comment down below. Let me know if this resonated in your life and how so. You can share the video and let other people know that you're enjoying my content. That would be amazing. And if you are not subscribed, guys, what's the problem? Are you trying to dodge me? Are you trying to dodge my content? That's not cool. I'm kidding. You can do whatever you want. It's a free world. But if you're not subscribed and you like what I do here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can see when I upload here on the channel. Cancer, I again will be going live on November the 25th. I don't know the time yet, but when I do, and if you're free, come on by and I'll read your cards for you real quick in the chat. It was a really nice turnout for the Scorpio live, so I'm hoping to have something very similar with this very general and very open live for everybody. So if you have the time and it fits into your schedule that day, go ahead and join me and I will answer your questions. Cancer, I'll be back soon to do your December readings. Your mid-Decembers after that. At some point, I'm going to put the no communications into the reading mix because that went off really well last month. And so I'm definitely here to, for the most part, give you guys what you want. Not always, because some of these readings, I'm just like, you guys are not going to like these messages. But I gotta give it the way that I receive it, okay? All right, Cancer. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really, really do appreciate you. Take care. Bye.